I'm ready. I start? Sure. Oh. Hi guys. Oh yes, you hear me. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for waiting for these 6 minutes. My bad. So I heard it was pet friendly, so I brought my dog. She's very, very sweet, but a little bit energetic and very protective of me and her brother, which is my son. So they are there because otherwise she starts barking, trying to find the whole family. So thank you so much for being here and listening. I hope I can bring you something new or something interesting. I really love what Vivienne and her people do with this, with the venue. Is just great. Really makes me feel welcome and happy. So we have co-founded Slow Food Convivium in Shanghai several years ago. And I also have brought some photos of some trips of the Chinese delegation for the Terra Madre event, and maybe later we can have a look at that together. What this presentation will look like is basically to try to communicate in a very easy way what slow food stands for and how it deeply relates to Chinese roots, and some activities that we are doing. In China, there is also Slow Food Beijing, and at university to follow through. So slow food is about our food, our planet, and our future. In the expo some years ago, the slow food pavilion was having this work by Michael Pollan. If you are what you eat, what you are is corn. Obviously, he's referring to basically the US population, because they are they are using a lot of corn in any kind of way. And what artists and society is most concerned about is not the fact that they are eating a lot of corn and cornflakes and all those kind of foods, but all the ways in which corn syrup and corn derivatives get into their meal without them knowing it. And that's why he created this beautiful, very impactful art. So with my team at university, we have sketched a little bit of, not comparison, but something in between, you know, like a Confucian approach and slow food approach. So we have, yes. Yeah, everybody? Okay, because I can't read otherwise. So, in the Analects of Confucius, we have the food should be as exquisite as possible. Do not eat things that change color and taste. Maybe you should try with some burgers around. Do not eat things that are not beautiful. Do not eat bad things with them. Do not overeat. The wine and the meat bought in the market, do not eat, may not be clean. We are talking about a person that was working and living 2.5 millennia ago, more or less, approximately, okay? So he has dedicated a part of his work to cooking and eating as art and culture, and how to tackle the culture of eating and food instead of indulging. On the other side, we have slow food. Foods should be good, clean and fair, and we should eat less but good quality. So you can clearly see, with a difference of 2,500 years, that there is a very interesting cultural bridge between the two approaches. And There is also quite a famous map of Chinese cuisine where some of your provinces are following, starting from Shandong of course, are following the Confucius cuisine, which is very, very nice. Obviously, when it was at its height, right, it was in the Song dynasty, and we are talking about the cuisine that is done for the elite. So very maybe complicated to go through. But it has been modernized. It can be easy or easier. And so that I really wanted to start with. I wanted to start with two concepts. You are what you eat. So have a look, a very thorough look. And look at the ancient wisdom, because there are interesting bridges there. So let's make it less. Some themes might be controversial, and some wording might be controversial. Please don't take anything personal. This talk is meant to make you think and make you reflect, then do some research, and make your own opinion. That's it. So, the current food system is wrong. We know that. It's unhealthy, unjust, and polluting the planet. Three things, very different. Unhealthy is bad for you as a human body. Unjust is bad for society and for the people that are not as fortunate as we might be. And polluting is because it's bad for the planet. Three bad things with three very distinct effects. So we have approximately more than 800 million people who struggle to eat. And then we have that now it's more. This is pre-COVID data. Now it's really more. We have reaching almost half of the worldwide population with obese challenges. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Something is seriously wrong, okay? Deforestation is a big problem. So Food and Agriculture Organization is telling us that 70% of land has been transformed into grazing, and we lose 10 million hectares of rainforest every year. So to anybody who is going to tell you, listen, people are starving and we need to be more productive. We need to increase productivity. We need to industrialize food because people are starving, okay? So you need to have food at a very low price and accessible. I tell you that this is BS, is wrong. They are manipulating you, or they are misinformed. Also possible, right? Either they don't know better, or they know it, and they are trying to manipulate you. Every country in the world, the FAO, F-A-O, right, tells us that every country in the world, completely regardless of how rich and industrially developed it is throwing away at least minimum 40% of the food that is producing. Okay? So it's not about how rich or industrially developed you are. It's about what you do, how you do, and who is deciding. It's not about increasing productivity. Okay? So, biodiversity loss is a huge problem, not only because we are depleting planet Earth of its beauty, right? of its richness, but also because biodiversity is where we go when we need to find a new medicine, like aspirin, penicillin, just to say something that you know, but many, that is super common, but many others, okay? So biodiversity is the one that prevent your plantation to go rotten or to get attacked by one bug. So you have millions, very famous. It is many years, maybe a couple of decades, that a very big banana producer is studying how to fight a certain type of illness of a certain type of banana. These things happen in nature, but if you have millions of banana trees that are only one type, one bug, you're done. But if you have biodiversity and you keep all the different types of bananas, of apples, and you have the trees working with biodiversity at different levels, there is the tree, there is the bushes, there is the little plants, the big plants. If you have that, one bug is not a problem, not that big of a problem, okay? So biodiversity helps us from a research point of view, from a medical point of view, from a food protection and a food source point of view, from a resilience point of view. So we are under the 6th max extinction, okay? And the previous one was 65 million years ago. I am under the impression that we are doing something wrong here. Yes, and we have lost or killed, you call it as you like, 250,000 varieties of plants. And we are having 27,000 species a year. Is one every 3 hours. When they are gone, they are gone. They are not coming back. It's not like Jurassic Park. So here is why it's unhealthy. Now, I took the first 2 photos that are really evident, but you can be unhealthy in many ways. It's not only having a burger with whatever type of mix of meat is this, and whatever think this is certainly is not cheese. Okay? This, they say is cheese, is not cheese. Cheese is something different. Anyhow, we have a very big cost, $15.6 billion annually, for being unhealthy because of food-related illnesses. They are very nasty. You don't want to get unhealthy because you are eating unhealthy. It's not worthwhile. As Confucius said, eat better, eat less, be happier. So each second in the US they are spending $500. Very sorry for them. And it is not all on the consumer, it's the system really that we need to help improve, okay? Obviously it's not healthy to go around with a little car because you can't walk. So let's talk a little bit about the system. We have, for example, 5 companies who controls roughly the 60% of the global seed market and the 73% of the global pesticide market. So food is about power. So all this talking about productivity is not about helping the people in hunger, it's about helping the pockets of some powerful people. That's the truth. Okay? So the number of small-scale and medium-scale farmers in the most developed countries is declining. This is because of, obviously, money power, and because somewhere in certain places, in different countries, because of certain law and policies. So also government could enhance some approaches. So you can see clearly that I can't, this is again 2019. So here we already had, okay, it's raining. Sorry. Here we already had a buyer bought Monsanto, I think, in this time. Most probably. Yes. Each, as you can see, many different countries, as you can see from the name of the companies that you surely know, many different countries have a stake in this. When you control seeds and when the seeds are OGM, and when the plants are genetically modified not to actually produce more seeds, you understand that the farmers need to buy the bag of seeds every year from the same company, because those seeds are genetically modified to resist the agrochemicals that the same companies are doing. So they are selling you the seeds on one side, and on the other side the agrochemicals to be productive. But if you do your normal seeds, these agrochemicals will completely destroy all your plants. That is what I call kind of a power grab. It's about industry, it's about money, it is not about helping the hunger. So, you have the pesticide treadmill, okay? And this is basically what I told you about before. If I move, you can take photos better. Like this. Because I am not interesting. The slides is, so wait. Oh, palala. There. Ok? L'uvi seduta. Brava Topa. I moved, she's worried. She's a shepherd, very protective. And very, if she gets near you, she's gonna kiss you all over. So it's up to you if you wanna be kissed. She's very sweet, but is a kissing girl. Okay, so slow food envisions a world in which all people can access and enjoy food that is good, clean, and fair. This is, I think, yes, this is the Chinese delegation that we brought to Italy for the Terra Madre Convention, I think, Slow Food Central, right? And this is Valtero Canepa, this is the president of the Slow Food Convivium in Shanghai. So it's very important for me to say it's not only about access, but it's also about enjoy. The more you enjoy food, the more a better relation you have with your eating habits. And a good relation with your eating habits and with the culture that surrounds food means health for you, for society, and for the planet. It's just that. And you have fun going for it. And nobody is suffering because you're eating, which is what happens now. We eat and people suffer, and that's not nice. Okay, so it tastes good. This is one of our farmers. When I say our, I mean the farmers nearby Shanghai that we visit, we have relationship with. Anyhow, Fred knows all of them, so if you need something, ask him. Okay, so it tastes good, it is respectful of local identities and tradition, and it is healthy. So, you enjoy it. It talks about your place, your country, your culture, your history, your people. And it is good for your health. That is slow food in a nutshell. Okay? So it's good. Quantitatively and qualitatively, really not the words for me, adequate and sufficient food corresponding to the cultural tradition. So, this is what I said before in shorter words, and this is coming from the Human Rights Council. So, local food, good food, it depends where it's coming from, how has been done. So here we have permaculture cultivation, and that is extensive cultivation. This is what I was talking about with how you do it. With the banana little problem. If you go for permaculture or various approaches similar to permaculture, where you let nature help itself, where you mix and you have a biodiversity variety also in your orchard or in your plantation, this approach does not really need all those agrochemicals. That approach, that is industrial approach to the production of food, needs a lot of agrochemicals and depletes the land. So after some years, your land cannot work without chemical fertilizer. Okay? For that, there is the arc of taste, and I have some slides later if we have time. If we don't have time, you can ask me personally to talk about the arc of taste. So, clean, produced and distributed in a way that respects the environment. It's not only about producing, but it's also about distributing. If you buy something that is organic but comes from Chile, and we are in Shanghai, maybe it's not the best of the ideas. So, oops, there. Does organic mean clean? Okay? So, here you have a Chinese import and export of fruits in 2021. Okay? So, when you import stuff in a country like China that is absolutely enormous and has all different possible types of climate. So you have tropical China, you have super cold China, you have continental China, mountain China. So in China, you could have so much seasonal variety of crops, vegetables and fruits. The more you import, the more you go out and ask and buy imported fruit or vegetables or goods, the more is not clean. Maybe it's clean for you in that moment that you eat it, but it's not clean as a produce because the logistics of it is really hurting. Fair gives the right reward to producers. This is one of our farmers. Again, Fred knows the name, and this is our president. And these are some other farmers at our market fair. So, especially small-scale ones and related communities, when you support with your purchases a small-scale farmer, you support the whole community around it. That is extremely important. That is basically almost the only true power you have. You choose what to buy, where to buy, from whom to buy. So you support this farmer, you support a small-scale farmer, and the community, the little village, the rural areas. And that support goes to the families and then to the left behind kids, talking about some of Chinese challenges, the rural China challenges, okay? So it is about a welfare for the people and a welfare for the animal, because when you are in small scale farming, animals go around. I said she's a kisser, Fred. Then animals goes around. So before they are slaughtered, they have a nice life. If you don't want to slaughter animals, then you go vegetarian. Also possible. But anyhow, when you have the egg, they are egg from a happy chicken, and not a desperate chicken in a too small cage with the cat beak and the cat wings. What? Yes?
That farmer actually from my community. It's okay.
Yeah. Fred, go.
Because maybe it's a little bit about that.
No, non puoi piangere.
No, vado bene con lei.
No, seduta, no.
Mr. Bazzaro on the calendar is
No.
Professor
Aspetta.
Accola's husband, and visited his farmer over there, and I just that's their farmer, in my home village. And they have a regular delivery, weekly delivery from the farmer. So no chemical at all, and the visitor and shook hands with the man. I think that there's a relationship between the two sides. In the meantime, the annual income, average income for the farmers in my home village in 2017 was around 2,300. But through Ribbon of Hope, which was supported by many people like Professor Accolla, the family earned around 40,000 last year. So no chemicals, good food, and high quality food, right? That's what I want to make out for. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, so I'll go quicker because I really wanted to, so I'll go faster, but if there is anything I'm showing to you, you want some more information, just ask me, absolutely no problem. Also, I'll tell you later. So cost breakdown per a cup of coffee, is cut down. So your coffee is here, 3.96%. All the rest is the rent of the place, the staff, the tax, the profit, the cups with the napkins, the milk, okay? And I think I have the other one. Yes. And this is the detail on the coffee. So when you get that you pay for like a 40 renminbi or 80 renminbi per coffee according to where you're buying it, okay? Less than 4% is for the coffee, and when you go in the coffee, you have that the farmer who grows the coffee is receiving 0.4 of 3.9 of what you pay. So that is the problem. We cannot have a sustainable agriculture when this is the breakdown of the cost, or where the money goes. Okay? So the roaster, the processors, the transporter, and the trader. Something here is very wrong. So we need a different type of disciplines and professions to go together and change this from an agronom point of view, from a design point of view, from an economic point of view, from a law point of view. The whole system, little by little, we can enhance without pointing fingers. We don't want to point. Who cares? Let's enhance it together. Okay? There. This is the renminbi for you. For your cup of coffee, the farmer gets 0.0072 renminbi. The poor guy. Yes? I call. Okay. So buy local, buy from family farms, refuse GMO, and heavily processed food. Okay? So it's about fewer food miles, better knowledge, ensuring the survival, preserving your health. So all this is actually on you. Before, no. But when you choose, when you buy food, you are making a choice. And that choice can help the whole system get better. Diet, which diet? Diets. The Mediterranean diet that has been praised a lot, is protected by UNESCO and things like that, is very similar to the traditional Asian diet, very similar. Only these produces, you find it in Europe, and those produces, in the Mediterranean specifically, and those in Asia. But the type of nutrition is the same. So you can be truly yourself. You don't need to go Mediterranean. If you're not Italian, be Chinese. It's the same thing. You see? Carbohydrates, veggies, same stuff. Exactly the same. Just with local produce. So this is about good, clean, fair and good, and the sustainable development goals that slow food is touching on. And I really would like to say that food is joy, and let's try to make food a joy for everyone. This is, if we, this guy here, yes. This guy here, Carlo Petrini, is the Slow Food founder and president. If you want to change the world, don't do it with sadness, do it with joy. I think is a beautiful sentence, and it is what I said before. Just make happy choices for yourself. She's very happy, obviously. And enhance. So now, this is my lab. I'm not here to talk about my lab. I just want to show some things that we are doing with the spirit of slow food, and also in collaboration with slow food, so that you can see and take inspiration, and what could I do with slow food, right? Something like that. So, okay, we do sustainability as a lab. Shocking. We go there. For example, with my students, I work on how to do sustainable development for business systems when we are talking vegetarian, when we are talking vegan, when we are talking flexitarian, okay? So how to make the discourse around food and around the different opinion and the different perspective. People that are omnivorous, they eat everything, animal, vegetable, fish, anything. And then they are flexitarian, and then pescatarian, and then vegetarian, and then vegan, okay? And everything in the middle. How to create responsible businesses that take this into consideration and respect the local tradition. For example, this is a very, very comprehensive work that if you are interested, we can talk about it later. But why I wanted to start with this? Because I want to go here to the slow food part. I wanted to talk with you about the elephant in the room. Again, no hard feelings for any choice. Any choice is beautiful as long as done with a smile, okay? So, if you are vegan, if you choose vegan, or being vegan, does it mean clean? It's the same question about organic or that I put before. You choose how to be vegan. So it's not about vegan, it's about how you're vegan. So, for example, plants have a much lower carbon footprint than meat. So you go like, I'm super green. Look what a disaster the lamb is. Lamb, beef and pork, but especially beef and lamb, a real disaster. And look, tomato, beans, broccoli, nuts, lentils, fantastic. Well, milk not if you're vegan, but anyhow, lentils, tofu, right? But there is the other part. If you want to have the same amount of proteins that your body needs and can get from some animal food with plants, what is happening to the forests? What is happening to places that were not there for agriculture, but they were the lungs of the planet? What is happening there? So it's about you reflecting on things and then make your responsible choice. But research something. So extensive peas monoculture and rainforest is destroyed to make space for palms. There is always the other side. Every choice has the other side. So it's about, I guess, being very, very careful to look to both sides. And vegan is lovely. And I want to say that there is in here, what we researched was exactly traditional Chinese ancient recipes, province by province, of both vegetarian and vegan food that has been there in China since ages and do not need any deforestation. So if you search, you have it. It's very beautiful. Okay? There. So when you go processed, and this is one example, you got this. So you take your huge, I'm late? 1 minute? No, I'm super late. So anyhow, when you go plant-based and you try to make meat out of plants, and you have an industrial approach to that, this is what happens to your greens. It's not natural, it's not healthy for you, for your body, and is definitely not healthy for the planet. Okay? So, I will put this one later, again, or you wanna take a photo now? because I have 1 minute, I let you know that I have other 50 slides because I thought I had little to share. Always happens. To heighten the food experience, for example, as you saw before, we are working on design perspective. So the master students, my master students that is following this today and yesterday is exactly studying for that. So I just wanted to share this. With a design strategic storytelling, the eater becomes your best resource for a pull market, and you'll have a solid competitive advantage that can be easily copied with a lower quality standard, which is what to fight. No quick fix, no eroded margins and price wars. Remember that when you have small price, somebody is suffering. The planet, the animal, the people. Okay? So low prices are a problem. Eat less. Eat 1 steak a week. Small steak or no steak. But don't search for the cheap price, because that is hurting somebody. The same with the ifu, the cloth. Okay? So, for example, and maybe we are starting again, this is the Sustainable Communities, Agriculture and Commerce. This is our Earth Market in Shanghai. We've done that for 1 year, 1 year and a half, or something like that. Yes, and my son was very small. Now he's a big boy. And we did surveys and a lot of things. And we are also doing stuff with the United Nations Environmental Programme and Slow Food. We are visiting places like Shambhala with their own things, right? And I cut because it's time for me. If you wanted to know about different type of activities of slow food with fish, with different communities, Terra Madre, Arc of Taste, the Presidia, and so on, you just contact me or Slow Food in general, and if you want, this is me. Okay?